All right, we are finally on to our last type of dispute resolution, and that is the mini trial. The mini trial. A little bit later, I'm going to talk about when you use each type. Be sure you review those before the in-class exercise because you'll need to know when you're trying to determine how to resolve some of the disputes I'm going to present you with. All right, type of participation in the mini trial is voluntary. Again, the only two that we have that are not voluntary are arbitration and adjudication. This tells you right now that when you're engaging in a mini trial, what you want is you want a pair of disputants who are at least somewhat cooperating. Save your arbitration and your adjudication for when there clearly is no relationship worth repairing. The decisions in a mini trial are non-binding, and there is a third-party neutral advisor. A third-party neutral advisor. Okay, now this is an important term to make note of because the term is advisor, not decision maker. Keep in mind that with the arbitration, adjudication, and rent-a-judge, those have decision makers. With mini trial, it is just an advisor. Clearly, the decision is not binding when it's an advisor. All right. Mini trials have an advantage in that they are less formal than either adjudication or arbitration. Less formal. So this tells you that it's probably going to be a bit less confrontational, a bit less likely to cause hard feelings. Proofs and evidence. Each party involved has the right to present evidence to try and get a decision that favors them. Okay. Now, the last four, arbitration, adjudication, rent-a-judge, and mini trial, yes, you can present evidence, but if you have a dispute with somebody and it goes for negotiation or mediation, keep in mind that evidence is not that important. All right. The type of decision in a mini trial, the goal is to get a mutually acceptable agreement. Mutually acceptable agreement. Again, mini trial for when you have a relationship that you want to preserve. All right, justification of the decision. Now this makes the mini trial a little bit more formal than the negotiation, but when you have a mini trial, you have an agreement that is usually included in a contract or release, just like you do with negotiation and mediation. So make a note that this is similar to negotiation and mediation in that the agreement is usually embodied in a contract or a release. So the parties involved draw up a contract or one or the other of them signs a release. The emphasis on a mini trial is to save money, okay, cost cutting, cost effective, and to get a resolution that is fair to both parties. Not only fair, but that is satisfactory to both parties as well. Again, with a mini trial, you think about this because you want to maintain a relationship. You want to maintain at least fairly civil relations. And this is a highly private process, a highly private process. Okay. Now, why it has the term mini trial when it really just involves a third-party neutral advisor? It's not really a formal hearing, but it's kind of like a mock trial. It's kind of like a mock trial. Okay, and that is it for our 6 types of dispute resolution. Next, I want to talk about when each type is appropriate and when they're not.